Wait, yo. I already know how it is, man, ladies and gentlemen. We starting off the morning, the afternoon, and the evening with you, ladies and gentlemen. Salute to my guys. Today's a little bit more different, right? We're not, formerly known as Drunk Sports Talk. We're not doing that today. Today we're gonna talk about a lot of different topics. The Knicks is out the league, right? We're gonna have a couple of sips. People are drinking. We don't even know, man. Everybody has a red cup. We don't even know what's in people's bottles today. All right, let's keep it a buck, man.
Surprise. I got Jesus juice in mine.
See, we're gonna have a salute to the good show, and this is a good morning wake up, man, because everybody have a late night sometimes on Saturdays, man. Salute to my brothers, man.
Space.
Yeah, man. Good stuff, man. Welcome back to Real Sports Talk, New York's new #1 sports talk show. We are the voice of the streets. Please allow me to reintroduce myself. It's your boy Cash. And rider with me, I got my ride or dies, you know what I'm saying, the homies from the town. I got L with me, J with me, and Q with me. And shout out to Ra. He he can't pop out today. He's got some shit going on, so shout out to Rob, man. Hope everything is good, and we'll see you on the next joint. You know what I mean?
Peace.
What's going on, y'all?
Hip-hop music, we like it because we choose it. You know the rules.
Yeah, man. Chilling. Beautiful day, man.
Beautiful
Blessed.
day. You know
Breathing.
what I mean? When we
You know what I was
talk-
bumping yesterday? Y'all, I was bumping some Cool G rap yesterday. Man. I was just driving around.
Wait,
Yeah,
what G-Rap joint? What G-Rap joint?
No, well, you know what I mean? It started off with the joint with Joel Ortiz, which is more the newer stuff, China White. And I was like, yo, man, let me listen to some real, Cool G rap 456. And I was like, yo, people forget like how ill Cool G rap was, man.
Amazing.
Yo, like,
You gotta
Shout
go.
out Cool G.
When I'm in my bag, I'll pretend I'm in the 88 Maxima, the box joints with the kid on it, and I throw in the fucking pin
Yeah, streets of New York all day.
Word
That
up.
shit go hard. Niggas don't even understand. I feel like I'm back in the crack era and shit, which was not a great thing, but you know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
It's a good feeling, man.
Bro.
I feel like Rock and Kanan, I'm about to run around the
Raising
corner and shit.
Kanan.
You know what I'm saying?
That should give you that feeling. Definitely give you that feeling, man. Yo, one real quick, man.
Wanted that.
I heard G-Rap heard one of my joints back in the days, man. And like Mac was telling me, he's like, yo, G-Rap heard the joint, he was feeling it. I was like, what? My shit? Like, what? Like, yo, bro, G-Rap is the god, man. Like,
A lot of y'all may not believe this. And before we start the show, we will get into the sports, but all y'all hip hop heads, y'all gonna appreciate this. Jay, you can attest to this. Edwin, I've told you this a bunch of times. You know what I'm saying? You're a little younger than us, but and L understands this. Yo, like Flushing is one of the most slept on hip hop legendary areas in New York, bro, on the East Coast. Because think about this. In '88, I remember walking. We used to, L, you remember this? In Parsons Junior High, there used to be this thing they called the center. I think it was I think it was a couple of nights a week. I forget what nights it was.
Basketball.
And everyone would go there and play basketball in the center. All the neighborhood, all the guys we kind of looked up to back then, the hustlers in the area, all the young dudes. Everyone in the whole neighborhood was at the center that night. My mom used to have this dude named Brooklyn walk me there because I was too young to. You remember Brooklyn? Brooklyn used to walk me over there.
fuck Brooklyn, man.
Yeah.
Nah, it's all good.
yeah,
Brooklyn
yeah.
punched me on my fucking face, man, in sixth grade, man. Anyway, go ahead, man.
So Brooklyn used to walk me. Anyway, and I used to hang with my man Patrick. We all had our little cliques. D was with Mick and all these dudes, and I had my little clique. We all knew each other. We all grew up, but we had our little pockets back then, right? Pretty much, right? Tell me when I'm lying. So one night, all the Juice Crew basically moved into our neighborhood. They moved into these red condos right by 200. Matter of fact, where Flush used to live, right? Shan, Kane, G-Rap. I think Salt and Pepper's over there filming. I think Kid and Play was like over there in Georgetown Muse over there by the Palmanac and shit, right? So one night, me and my man Pat they used to be the pizzeria on the strip. Do you remember the pizza? I think it was Joe's or some shit. Yeah. Center's over, everybody's going home and they're walking around or whatever. We just said, let's go get a slice of pizza. Yo, we walked by Joe's Pizza joint, right in the strip where all the action was at. Everyone who know the Ville know the strip. And And who's standing in the fucking pizza joint, nigga, with Chuck Shamik, rest in peace to the dead, and Biggie and Moan and all them niggas around him? No other than Big Daddy Kane. I'm talking 1988 Kane. Like, you know what I'm saying? Truck jewels, flat
Hot
top
top
crispy.
Kane.
And the nigga sitting there, and me and my man, back then, we was Kane fanatics. So, and if y'all don't know Kane, y'all look at him now and y'all be like, damn, who's this Kane? Kane was Biggie and Jay back then. Like, he was a. So we like waved to him on some groupie shit, and the nigga was like, we was like, oh shit, we did it on the low, but we went crazy. So Kane lived in our hood, and the reason why I bring this up is G-Rap, and I'm untied up here. I believe Ed when he says that because one day I went to PS200 to ball, and I never really would ball in PS200. I would ball in 154 or Parsons, but one day I go there, and who's in the fucking park hooping? Can't hoop a lick, by the way. It's Cool G-Rap. And I was just like bugging, like, yo, our neighborhood was great. And then, where Jay lived at, you had Large Pro, God bless you, Shot Skills. If y'all don't know Shot Skills, do your Googles. You had Mike Geronimo,
Mike,
Flush, Neek the Exotic, right? Who am I missing anybody?
You're probably missing a lot of people, but yeah, but
in the area.
Right around the corner in the Woodner building, Houdini, Jalil used to live in the Woodner building right around the corner from me.
Get out of here. Yo, why did everyone flock to Flushing like that?
As a matter of fact, you just reminded me, D, you remember this? On Lou Block was MC Delight lived over there. You remember that shit?
Yeah, Delight. I was just about to say that. Delight used to live over there.
Yeah. Yo, our neighborhood was crazy, bro. Crazy. Yo.
Expose. You know what? It's funny you said it because
Yesterday,
Expose used to live on the condos right on Union and Parsons.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like what? I don't know why everyone came.
Chubb
Rock
lived up there.
Remember Chubb?
Chubb. Trash.
Chubb Rock.
There were a bunch of Mets players. Jesse Orozco lived over there. Our neighborhood was like it was ghetto, but it was like lit though. It was like You had a line in your shit too. And let's get into the sports. D had a line on his shit that said, "I'm from the place where the skinny niggas ride and middle niggas, some shit, middle class niggas." Remember that shit?
Yeah. I can't remember the shit either.
It was it was like ghetto / middle class. It was weird, our neighborhood. But anyway,
yeah.
I don't know where the fuck you when he got tired of hearing this old nigga shit. But
nah, man. Like yo, man, that's the best. That's the best hip hop.
That's the best hip hop in the world.
Yo, and I was born in, I don't want to show my age, but like 88 is the best. I went back and listened to every album that came out in 88.
The energy you was born in is crazy.
And you know what I mean? Like, I'm a hip hop enthusiast, man. Like, not only do I just rap, but.
Yo, who got these type of punks going in the background?
88, Rick Pitino. Yeah, see that? 88, Rick Pitino, the Pop Squad, Johnny Newman.
Siren? Police. See Cypher Punks.
Yeah. This is New York shit, man.
This is New York. You already Welcome to Real Sports Talk.
Yeah, that's El Crib. It's real out here. That's El Crib.
Word. You know what's crazy? I haven't heard like since I moved here. Like there's certain things that I don't hear anymore. Right?
Yeah.
When I first moved here, I couldn't sleep because it's too quiet.
Right.
Like there's no sounds. Like my white noise used to be sirens, airplanes overhead, people outside arguing and shit. Like all those things, right? So when I moved here, it's nothing. Like I don't have no sound. At nighttime, it's silence. Sometimes I'll hear a car, but that's like outside the comp. Like it takes a lot.
That's crazy. You hear shit outside the complex. That's how quiet it is.
He said, sometimes I hear a car.
Yeah. But it's got to be like one of them loud motherfuckers, like, like with the pipes blowing out balls and all that shit, right? We don't have any airplanes that fly overhead at all. So I don't hear airplanes ever.
Wow. That's a good thing.
It's very rare that I'll hear a siren, like, something like that. I can't remember when's the last time I heard a siren, like at least drive by. Like, like if I'm driving, sometimes you'll see like a fire truck or something like that. But as far as like police flying to some shit, that don't happen here.
What about tickets and stuff? The tickets that is like parking tickets. That shit. It's like
we don't park on the street here. Everything that I go to has like parking lots. It's pulling. You got to go.
Same thing with me. D, when and Q, when they used to come down to visit me in Virginia, everything there's really no parallel parking either. You just pull right into the spot. If you go up to the city like DC or some shit, maybe probably Dallas got some parallel.
But here there's none of that shit.
Mall, you got
shit like everything.
Yo, Jay, you got speeding cameras down there?
Check this out. I'm gonna tell y'all a real quick story, right? They had them shits before I got here, right before I got here, right?
Taxpayers got them out of there.
Bro, no, one person got them out of here. One person drove through the whole town and ran every one of them and got a ticket from each one and then took them all to court and fought them and said that he wasn't in the car. All types of crazy shit. The town said fuck it and pulled them shits out. We don't have no speeding
Shout out
ticket.
to that nigga.
Shout out to him. They were here.
Yo, that's a small motherfucker.
Before I moved here, he fought him with an ill lawyer and everything, and they took all them shits out. There's no speeding ticket. Bro, there's nothing here. Like you could literally, I won't say it's lawless because it's not lawless.
Yeah.
But everybody's strapped. Everybody is nice and kind and cool. Like there's no, like if you come here,
won't start nothing, won't be nothing.
Yeah, if you come here and you act up, you looking for it. Like, you legitimately. And you'll get it. Like you'll get it. Like an old lady will bust you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like fuck around and get stupid. An old lady.
That's how it was when I was in Georgia. Yo, I flipped somebody off one day. Like on some New York shit.
They pulled right up.
Oh, son.
You might want to chill out, son.
He pulled up.
You might want
pulled out. Like I'm like, no. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like I learned quick. Like be humble.
Walking around in Walmart and VA with guns when I first got there. I was like, niggas just walking around with shit on their fucking hip like this.
It depends.
Where the fuck am I at?
Yo, no lie, it depends on my clothes, what type of fucking holster I wear. Like legit, I swear to God, I can't make this shit up.
Nigga get fashionable to this shit, right?
If I'm wearing like a larger shirt, like then I'll wear something where I'm like it's outside the waistline. If I'm wearing like a fitted shirt, I'll put it inside the waistline and I'll change the gun. Like I'll go with an EC9 Ruger, something smaller, you know what I'm saying, rather than a Walther Creed or something like that. But it's
them little nine Rugers is nice too. They nice and small and compact. Yeah.
Don't start nothing.
Somebody stole my little Ruger, man. I had a nice one, man. Like motherfuckers broke in my car and took that shit, man.
What the fuck is it doing in your car? It's supposed to be on your body, bro.
Yeah, word.
I keep that shit on my body at all times.
That shit crazy, man. But yeah, man, that's crazy. Man. Yo, let's get back to New York business, man. Shit. Great intro, man. I hope y'all enjoyed
back,
this.
Everybody, we just dwelling in the past. I think that's what we need to do every.
I think most people can understand. Yeah, I think most people get it. You got a lot of transplants from New York. You know, last thing when I moved to Virginia, I was hanging out with more New York niggas than I was with Virginia niggas. Shit, that's how crazy this shit was. But all right, man. Let's speaking about New York. Let's get into the Knicks, man. We gotta get into the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? And every time I think we've closed the door on the Knicks for the year, some shit comes out the next day. I'm like, yo, we're gonna get into some football next week, some Giants, Pigskins, some Jets. Nah, man, the Knicks. Every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in like the golf. All right, so let's get into it, man. The Knicks. So the plan for the Knicks is starting to reveal itself somewhat, right? After Thibodeau gets fired, we were kind of all concerned. We didn't know, who the coaching candidates were. Everyone's thinking, do the Knicks have a plan in place? Are they flying by the seat of their pants? Everyone was kind of uncertain. You hear the speculation about coaching candidates such as Jay Wright, Sam Cassell, Johnny Bryant, Jeff Van Gundy, blah, blah, blah. We all heard the names. But then you started hearing rumblings about players. I didn't really like the way Tibbs was operating. You know what I'm saying? People was being clandestine, going behind closed doors, running back to management. You're hearing all these rumors starting to go out, a lot of backbiting going on behind the scenes, that we didn't hear pretty much throughout the season. You had James Dolan sat in on the exit meetings. People were complaining. Then Tibbs gets fired, and you're like, wow, people were kind of unsatisfied with Tibbs. In the media, they're singing his praises, and behind closed doors, they weren't really too happy with him. And you heard a little bit of Mikal Bridges, and you heard a little bit of Josh Hart talk about it here and there, But then you start to hear things about Rick Brunson. This is where really kind of said, oh shit, Rick Prey is kind of resenting that Rick Brunson is an assistant coach on the Knicks, and I'm thinking to myself, man, that shit, that can't be good, because your fucking franchise player who was basically, Jesus in basketball shoes for the Knicks. That's his pops, bro. That's gotta cause like some type of crack in chemistry or rift, or we don't know how true these things are, but sometimes when there's smoke, there's fire, right? So all these rumors come out, then you start to hear the rumors about the coaches, right? You start to hear, concrete names. Johnny Bryant was like the lead guy for a minute, but then you really start to hear one name, and this name is kind of sticking, and the name is Jason Kidd, right? The Knicks request to speak to Kidd, who was under contract, by the way, by the Dallas Mavericks. And then I'm like Kidd, why Kidd? It seems like a name that came out of the blue, right? It didn't really make too much sense to me. Like, yeah, he's a good coach and everything, but like I don't understand it. He's not like John Wooden or some shit. You know what I mean? Trying to. So the Knicks request permission to talk to him. Like I said, he's under contract. Kidd's a really good coach, right? He went to finals with Dallas. last year, I believe. He's he won a ring with Dallas as a player. To me, he's one of the greatest point guards to ever play the game, and I don't say that lightly. You know what I'm saying? That, I don't throw those words around lightly. He's one of the only players that I've seen out of a handful of guys that comes to a team and makes immediate impact without scoring. It's the most amazing shit in the world. I'm going all the way back to when he joined the Nets with Jason Collins and Kenya Martin and Richard Jefferson. They was like the first Lob City back then, if y'all don't remember, man. You know what I mean? And he brought them from nowhere.
That was a great team.
To the finals 2 years in a row, and they couldn't really deal with Shaq and them. But Jason Kidd, he's what a great player. He really has a great understanding of the game.
Definitely.
So I'm saying to myself, okay, you know what? Maybe I could see Kidd, right? I could possibly see Kidd. He's a point guard, right? We always talk about on the show, point guards sometimes they transition into really good coaches because, I don't know, the floor generalship or their extension of the coach on the floor, whatever. So I'm like, okay, I can see that. But then I'm like, what's the catch, right? You know what I'm saying? And then you start hearing speculation about Giannis Antetokounmpo and how him and Giannis had a very good relationship. And in fact, I read an article that when the Bucks fired Jason Kidd, Giannis called Kidd up, right? Because he was instrumental in his development. He called Kidd up and go, "Do you want me to make this right with the organization?" And if Giannis makes a phone call upstairs, I don't want Kidd to be, unfire him. It's gonna happen. But obviously Jason Kidd, doesn't want to look like a charity case. So he was like, "Nah, it's cool. I'm gonna go ahead and do my thing." But that goes to show you the relationship with Giannis and Kidd. So then you're starting to think, and I'm gonna tie this up and I'm gonna pass it off. You're starting to hear rumors like the Knicks are gonna make it. I think the words were a tsunami type of offer to the Bucks. But the whole hook was go get Jason Kidd, and maybe we might be able to lure, right, Antetokounmpo into the Knicks. And now there's a whole thing with salaries and draft picks and compensation that might not match up. But we also know Leon Rose is a very smart dude. I'm gonna pass it off early this week. Q, I'm gonna go to you first. When you hear this, what do you think is the Knicks play? Is it realistic to get Kidd in there, and is it realistic to get the Greek Freak in here?
I think so, but I think it has to be bundled up, right? Because there's stories of threes, right? Like all bad things and good things come in threes, right? And all the stories is, are we gonna get KD? Hey, are we gonna get Giannis? Are we gonna get Kidd? We're gonna need two of those things to happen, right? And one of them definitely have to be a coach. And whether it's this, Jason Kidd, which I don't mind seeing happen, and I think that'll be an easy pickup because I don't think we're gonna have to super overpay. Because if we're gonna get Jay Wright, we're gonna have to pay him way more than what he's getting paid right now. I think Jay Wright's making like 10 to 15 million right now a year or some shit like that, if I'm not mistaken.
On TV?
Yeah, on TV. So we have to beat that contract in order to even entice him, and he might negotiate, right? So you have to keep it. But and aside before I even go into that, talking about the player aspect, the reason I like Jason Kidd coming to the Knicks is because we always felt like Jalen Brunson also needed to be a better point guard, right? I feel like Jalen Brunson plays like, he tries to play like LeBron. He tries to play like all five levels. Like why?
He's a
why
two
is he
guard.
like why is he? But why is he posting up power forwards? He's posting up. You know what I mean? Like small forwards. Like he be doing some wild shit. He shouldn't be. His job shouldn't be. His job is to facilitate, bro. We just need you here to facilitate and score on essence, and that's what needs to happen. And who did that? At this age right now, who's a coach is Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd did that effortlessly. And what we see with Jalen Brunson's game right now, he doesn't really pass the rock. But then again, this team really never had the time to actually mesh, and you know what I mean? Like I don't know, I can't blame it on coaching or I can't blame it on players. We don't know what really happened in those locker rooms, and we don't know what happened in those meetings. So it's a lot of things that went on to it, but we know that there was definitely some development that needs to happen for the New York Knicks. Why is the music going right now? Alright. But yo, Cash is violent. But
my bad.
But that's, you know what I mean, like, and I could see that happening. As for like Luke, you know, getting Giannis, look, Giannis is making, I think, 49 million. Cat's making 48. That's an easy swap, right? But that's not gonna happen, right? So we're gonna have to end up losing some type of capital. So we're gonna end up, and right now the Knicks right now are actually under the second apron, which is surprising, but we're like barely making the first. I think we're under like 3 million. So like we don't want to lose all that draft capital for the second apron, because we're not gonna be able to make no other big moves, which or even trade and sign players, because that's when the restrictions really happen. And you know, that's what I've been reading upon, and I think that's what other people need to understand too. Because in order to build a team, you got to make sure you under that second apron, because you're not gonna be able to trade nobody, not gonna be able to make no moves. You're just gonna, you know, you trade draft picks, but only certain draft picks. You know, you still gonna have to pay luxury taxes. You know, it gets a little bit more in depth, but I would prefer us, if we really wanted to win, if we could get Giannis, and I know I'm going a little long right now, but if we could get Jason Kidd for like a Wizards pick, and if we can get like Giannis for like maybe Giannis to give up like maybe Cat and like maybe Bridges, and I'm sorry, I don't want, because like I feel like extending Bridges right now is pointless right now, because then we're gonna be spending more money to be. I'll keep it a buck. We're spending more money to keep him, and we can definitely find another player that can fit his role. I don't think he fits this system right now. I'll keep it a buck.
But that money don't match up though.
I agree.
That money don't match up though. That's way too much. Like you'd have to throw in like a lesser tier player and some
much
picks.
lesser tier player.
Yeah, because Cat and him are only like $1 million. Yeah, they're only like $1.5 or some shit off each other's salary. So you're not gonna give up Giannis and.
Yo, but the Bucks are not giving up Giannis. Like, you gotta understand, man. Like, yo, dude has no decision in this, man. Like, these are the negotiators.
Who doesn't have no decision in?
Giannis, man. Like, yo, people think like, yo, people, yo, Giannis is not LeBron. He's gonna be like, yo, I wanna go. Now, like, yo, I know Cash me and
Giannis is 100% LeBron.
Giannis 150%.
He's a two-time MVP. He's a perennial all-star every year. He's won a finals. He's the hottest commodity on the market right now. You're crazy. He got a lot of leverage.
He's way, he's telling me as more leverage than LeBron.
So you telling me as an organization, you're gonna be like, all right, fuck it, we'll just take whatever. All right, you selling hot dogs?
No. Hold on.
Anyway,
hold on. I'm gonna pass it to Jay. I'm gonna say this. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying from the financial standpoint, the money has to match up. You're not going to get if I don't know. I think the Bucks. I don't know if they're in the second apron or not, or even past the first apron. But one of the rules of the first apron is, right, from what I understand, is you can't take back more salary in a trade if you're past the second apron. So the money wouldn't even match up. So you got to put a guy maybe like Pacone Dottie in there. Package it with some picks.
But they're not. Like the Bucks are I'm looking at it. The Bucks are really low in the category, bro. Like the Nets can literally do whatever the fuck.
Giannis don't want to go to the Nets, bro.
No, I know, but like the Nets can literally, if 3 players wanted to go to the Nets, they're able to do it.
All right.
One of the things you have to think about. One of the things you have to think about also, Q, is relationship. Relationship means a lot. Giannis has a very, very, very good relationship with the Milwaukee front office. They're not going to do foul by him. That's not what this plan is. And if Giannis says that he doesn't intend to stay there or re-sign, they have to make a move that makes sense for them to get at least something. They can't just let the guy walk out the door. And Giannis is in that moment where he can make that decision. He can absolutely kind of almost pick his destination if he chooses to. I don't like, he's got, if you ask me, and again, I'm just speaking from the outside looking in, he's got the most cachet probably in the entire NBA. If you really look at accomplishment versus his overall future worth. There's no other player in this league that can do what he can do. There's no other player in this league that has that type of value based on age, skill set, style of play.
Maybe only one. Maybe just if the Joker was up for grabs. Maybe
if the Joker. I agree with you. I agree with Ash. I'd say the Joker as well.
It's a short
That'll
list.
do it. Very short list. So when you look at it through that lens, he absolutely can kind of write his own destination and pick his own check. Now,
sound.
Your sound.
It's your mic.
Your mic. Yeah, something going on with your mic.
Mine?
Yeah,
good now.
There we go.
But you was breaking up a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, one of the things that you absolutely have to say is he's got a fantastic relationship with Jason Kidd. He was distraught when Jason Kidd was fired. I don't know if y'all remember that back then. He was very upset about that. He actually, I think if I remember hearing, there was rumors that he called Jason Kidd and said, "How can I fix this?"
Yes.
So that in itself also lends to the fact that if the Knicks were to really try to make a splash, why not just go get the guy that he absolutely adores and he wants to play for, put him in position, and then make Giannis kind of make the decision and kind of force his way into the moment. Now, as far as money, you're right, Q. Cat and Giannis, their salaries almost match. So if you throw in a rookie, like let's say you throw in a Tyler Kolek,
it does.
You know what I'm saying? Huh?
No, because he's saying no, but I'm like, their salaries do match right now.
Yeah.
Giannis makes a pinch more than him, though.
Yeah, they're pretty.
That's why we have 48.
Yeah, no, but then we get the apron thing. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Right, and then if you throw in a rookie like a Tyler Kolek, like somebody like that, to kind of make it semi-match, or if you do something creative where you take a Giannis and maybe a Bobby Portis and do an OG and a Cat, those will match up. Now you're starting to have real conversations as far as how do you move the money around. But again, I think it would probably be Giannis versus our Cat and one other player. And Milwaukee has always wanted Cat. That's another thing that you have to think about too. Milwaukee has lauded Cat since he was back in Minnesota. So some people are even saying that the Knicks made this move with hopes of actually putting Cat into a trade to get him to Milwaukee in hopes of landing Giannis.
When Cat first got here, that's what the sentiment was. Remember,
that was the sentiment,
right? Yeah,
they make that move for that.
That feels like a Leon Rose move.
Yeah. So, this is chestnut checkers, right?
He thinks for the future.
This is chestnut checkers, right? But with that being said, I'm not gonna let. There's one other thing I want to touch on. I'm not gonna let Cash just. I'm not gonna. What?
You said it's one other thing you want to touch on.
All right.
I gotta ring you up.
J shirt. I'm not even saying pause.
I think, Jesus Christ, it's crazy. Oh my God. Wow. No, that reaction was to my words.
Rod, I got him, Rod. Don't worry, I got him for you, Rod. Don't worry.
Yo, Jay, don't touch anything else for the rest of the episode, right?
One other thing I'd like to speak about is Cash, you're not gonna just drop a word like clandestine and then think that it's okay. He dropped the SAT word beautifully. Clandestine. How did you slip that word?
Been reading the dictionary
into your diatribe. That was a beautifully placed word.
Yeah,
I respect that type of shit. I love that shit. Great job, bro. Slip the word in and just very, very real.
Nigga, bro, Jay, you just
that's a $5 word right there.
Yo, Jay, you just slipped in diatribe, my nigga. Like, how much is that worth on the Scrabble board, bro? Like, what?
Me and Jay get our reading up, but
oh my God, I gotta start reading the fucking encyclopedia.
Word, if that word was on fucking Wheel of Fortune, I wouldn't know what the fuck to ask for. Can I get
Yo, L. What are your thoughts on this, man? In terms of bringing Jason Kidd over here as potentially to get Giannis, is that realistic? Do you think it happens, or what do you?
Here's the thing, man. From what NBA insiders are saying, and this is all going off this guy Mark Stein, who first broke this story. He's like I don't know. He's the only one spreading this rumor about Kidd with the Kidd information and the Knicks wanting to talk to Kidd. But they're saying that Dallas is not trying to hear any talks from the Knicks. And everyone's saying like Kidd's happy there. So it's like every 2 days we got a new person. Like,
who's leaking?
Who's it gonna be? Like, I like it though, man. It's kind of exciting. You know what I think it is? I think more than anything in this new day of media, how media controls everything. there's a need for content nowadays. So these fucking reporters and shit just be making shit up now, I think. Like, yo, we need a fucking story today. Hey, let's say fucking Kid. Let's say Kid might come. Yeah, that sounds fucking great. We can run that for 3 days. Like, because I don't see it happening, man. Just like Udoka, what's his? I'm sorry if I'm fucking masking.
Udoka.
Yeah. No one. They're not letting fucking New York talk about it. No. And I don't think Dallas is. I think is going to follow the same thing. Dallas is not trying to let the Knicks pry away their fucking coach. Now, also about Jason Kidd. Yes, I heard the Knicks want a former player to be their coach, right? So now, okay, what does that leave us with? Kidd, Cassell, who's the other guys out there that are former players? I don't know, but former players. But was Kidd's record that great with the Mavericks? I know he took him to the finals, but I'm looking at his stats. He's 179 and 49 over his 5 years, regular season. He's like 22 and 18 playoffs. I know he's got a great mind, but I don't know if he's like this savior coach that's going to change everything. I did like Brunson's play when he was with Kidd in Dallas. I liked his style of play more than the style of play I'm seeing now from Brunson. It's like when he came to New York, his whole style of play changed. Like his footwork was even sicker. And to me, he's still great
with the usage percentage too, though. But go ahead.
No, I'm just talking about like the way he got to the basket and stuff was different. Like when I watched the old footage from Dallas, like his whole footwork was different. Like now, I don't know if he just realized it's easy. Put it this way,
more like Luka. To me, his game looked a lot like Luka back in.
His game might have progressed, and he now knows how to do it a different way.
Ridiculously progressed.
I don't know, but I like the
better in Dallas.
I liked what I was seeing from him in Dallas. Yes, like when he would get on the post, it was less of the fucking pounding the ball and backing people down. But he had like some.
You mean like system wise? The system was a little more fluid. You talking about?
No, I'm talking about like the way he played. Like his game was more like a Shea. He had more of the Shea thing going on with the fakes and stuff.
That's
in Dallas.
That's where he's positioned on the court based on where he's getting the basketball and based on the other talent that's surrounding him on the court. Because remember, you play differently based on personnel.
Yeah, who you with? Yeah,
based on set, based on based on whatever play is called, scheme, right? So yes, you're going to see a different brand of basketball, but as far as his overall play, it's excelled through the roof in New York because he's had to bring out that style of play. Like he doesn't have the personnel around him. Him and Cat don't look good together on the court together. They don't operate well together on the court for whatever reason. So you're going to see. I agree with what you're saying as far as spacing, because Dallas, they were able to space the floor much better than what the Knicks, what you're seeing with him. Sometimes I've seen flashes, and correct me if I'm wrong. I've seen flashes throughout the season where you'll see the team looks better against different opponents, based on how the defenses are set up, and you'll see better spacing and things like that. But as far as consistently, to your point, L, the answer yes. I don't think it's footwork. I think it's just where he's positioned on the basketball court. It looks like a much more fluid style of ball. Pause.
Yeah, definitely. But just to close, like here's the thing that no one's talking about, and I think we might fucking get shocked with this shit. What if the fucking Knicks move Brunson? No, that's like, oh shit, like nobody is fucking thinking about that shit.
That's gonna happen.
I don't know, bro. Like,
I
put it
can't
this way.
imagine in any world that's gonna happen.
He took a sweetheart. He took a team-friendly deal. He's an all-star, clutch player of the year, MVP candidate, getting underpaid. I mean, to me, it wouldn't make sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like they got something.
Yeah, because what are you going to get back for? That's the question. Like, you have to get something, but I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm just watching like everyone else, man.
But you never know. Leon Rose, and to your point, L is like you said, Mark Stein with the report and all these rumors flying around, and every day there's a new theory and a new story. I was telling Q earlier when we were talking on the phone today, Leon Rose and Wes and these guys, are very buttoned up. Their moves don't be really leaking out of the office like that. You know what I'm saying? So it makes me think: is this true? Is this not true? They don't really. Leon Rose doesn't. We didn't know about the Mikal Bridges trade. We thought the Mikal Bridges trade was never going to happen. We didn't think that the Nets and the Knicks would do business with each other with a trade like that, because that's like the Mets and the Yankees doing business together, right? They usually don't do business in the same town because you're both fighting for the back page of the papers, right? Another thing. The cat trade came out of nowhere. Nobody thought that. We thought we was going to war with Julius, DiVincenzo, OG, Brunson, and who am I missing? And Bridges, right? You know what I'm saying? We thought that was going to be the starting five. That came out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? But real quick before we close it out with the picks, you know, this is all contingent upon how Giannis moves, because I don't think the Bucks are looking at the Knicks and going, yeah, I want this dude, that dude. They got a abundance of draft picks. They don't probably look at the Knicks and go, they have the assets that we want, right? You know what I'm saying? We have a 2026 first-round pick from Washington, which is a top 8 protected. I mean, Washington sucks, so that's not that appealing. You know what I'm saying? But then we do have like 3 first-round picks, I believe, in 28, 31, and 32 that are swaps that we could give them. So they'd probably want all those 4 picks. That's you couple those with the picks we put for Bridges, your future's just dry. You know what I'm saying? Now you're waiting for people's contracts to start expiring and trading out expiring contracts to try to dump salary and to build your team through free agency. You know what I'm saying? Instead of the draft, which we haven't really done anyway under Thibodeau.
Or you have to just suck.
Like, you have to just suck. You know what I'm saying? Pause.
Which is what I was telling Cash earlier. I'm like, yo, bro, like, is there a future? I want a future with the Knicks team that we're not. Yo, if we get a chip next year, yo, great. But are we also gonna fucking get a chip next year and then just be atrocious, like for the next 20 years? Like,
again,
fuck, man, like, yo,
no, we were arguing. That's what I said, right? Did I not say that?
Yo, I swear to God,
that's what I told them. I'll sign for it right now. Where do I sign? Where do I sign?
Yo, I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm closer to the end than I am to the beginning, right? If I get a fucking championship in 2026, 2027, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm fine.
Niggas ready to die. Like, yo,
take me, Lord. Yo, he gonna start writing his will and shit. Like, yo, fuck it, I'm leaving.
We can become a Lions team. Every year thereafter, I go. And I gotta.
Your mic, Jay.
Sounds like some latency thing.
Somebody, let me hear.
I hear an airplane
now you
going overhead.
Oh, is that me canceling you out?
Yeah.
All right, so that
you got.
All right.
Wait. Oh, he might. All
right, so if that happens,
the second time that happened when the airplane went overhead.
If that happens, I'll take care of that next time.
Yo, we need you to call the FAA and tell them niggas to stop flying over.
Yo, we taping right now. Yeah, hold on, man.
Yo,
what the hell are they thinking about, man?
Oh, nah, you know what? Because Jay got echo
cancellation.
Jay, you got echo cancellation on. Go ahead. It won't happen again. I took it off. Go ahead.
I'm good?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, so like I said, if we fuck around and get that win next year, I'm good for the rest of my life, bro. I can go to the grave in peace. I'm fine with that. I don't need it. I like multiple, you know what I'm saying, like chips, but,
you saved yourself. You saved yourself there. You saved yourself. He said, I like multiples. And then he said chips. He caught himself. Yeah, good save, man. Good save.
Okay. Yo, hold on. Watching.
Guys, yeah.
Streets is watching.
Reaching foul, number 19. L Sports Talk. Shooting 2, gentlemen. Relax on. Yo.
Nah, but it's gonna be interesting, man. I wouldn't put it past to close this out. I wouldn't put it past Leon Rose to pull some shit off like this. I'm gonna trust him, man, because so far he's turned his whole organization around, and for him to fire his boy, which is, he was fucking Thibodeau's agent, so for him to fire his boy, there's got to be some type of master plan. Everyone's thinking that, he just flying by the seat of the pants. I don't think so. I think there's a real plan in place. And I think this team is going to look way different at the start of the year. But we'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's but I'm excited, man. And we'll probably get off the show or air it later, and then there'll probably be a new fucking theory. And this shit will age bad. So you don't fucking know. But let's move on. Let's stay on basketball for a minute. I came across this the other day, and it was very interesting to me. You know what I mean? The All-Star game, right? The All-Star game. The All-Star game was an absolute joke. I remember. I knew you guys were all around the same age. I remember being young and
Must
looking
see.
forward
Must
to the
see
All-Star
TV.
game. Must see TV, right? Sunday afternoon. You have Friday
Dunk
after dunk
contest.
contest. All that shit was lit.
You even
Jordan,
watched the
Dominic.
3-point contest.
Even watched the 3-point shit, right? It was must see TV. The whole weekend was lit, right? The All-Star has become an absolute joke.
Yeah, the strippers don't even go to All-Star no more, man.
Don't even go to
like
All-Star game
the
no
hookers, they don't even go to All-Star.
It's crazy, man. It's always been a little bit lackluster defense played in the first couple of quarters, right? It's more about, putting on a show, people dunking, crazy passes, just, but they always tighten up a little bit towards the end in the third and the fourth quarter. Yeah, second half, and then they actually played to win the game. Guys like Kobe, Shaq,
Iverson,
Penny,
Mike.
Iverson, Stephon Marbury and shit, right? AI, shit like that. Then it became this social event. Guys coming there to show off their jewelry, business networking. The whole weekend became about partying, networking, business deals, and fashion and parties. And
when did that start too? Like, when would you say? Because
I want to say
LeBron. I didn't want to say it. I'm glad you said it, man. I don't want him to come from me.
I can see that. I can see that. And Adam Silver, he gets a bad rap. He's kind of become this commissioner that's seen as letting in. Right, he's right. Exactly. That's my point. He's kind of letting the inmates run the asylum, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? At least that's the perception of him. David Stern was kind of like this guy. He used to have them, strict dress code. He, when there was, punishment had to be handed down, he was swift and fair, and he brought the game global. Adam Silver seems to be kind of like the fucking warden that has no control. And I don't like to use that phrase, but you understand what I mean. But the last 5 to 6 years, the game is way less competitive.
He's too progressive.
He's too progressive. Perfect way to put it.
There's a fine line between progression and
disorder.
That's the word I wanted.
Right.
We're working well together, bro.
We vibing today. We there.
There's a fine line between progression and disorder, and that's it.
And that's what's happening right now. And there's no defense. Like, I'm watching the All-Star game last year, and last year it just felt like it was the worst it ever been. There's no stars in the dunk contest, the 3-point contest. They're bringing like WNBA players in there, which is cool. I get all that, but it seems like they're really trying, to conjure up some type of magic, and it's not working. And like I said, it was just a joke out there. The game was garbage. No defense. The scores insanely high. But Adam Silver, to his credit, has been trying to tweak the format a couple of different times, right? He tried to make it where, you have 2 captains, LeBron and KD some years, and they're doing some schoolyard type shit where I pick him, you pick him, and they tried to change it up from the East-West shit. That shit still didn't really work. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that didn't work. But now they have a new idea, and I kind of like this idea. And if this doesn't work, and I'm about to explain to y'all what it is, then they might just dead the whole All-Star game. But what they're gonna do now is they're gonna take the best NBA players out of the whole league, right? All the NBA All-Stars, and they're going to pit them against, right, the best players of the world, right? We've seen something like this. We see shit like this in the Olympics all the time. Only difference is there's 1 or 2 players splintered off onto all these different teams in all these different countries. Now you're putting all these guys, the Shea Gilgeous-Alexanders, the Luka Doncic, Embiid, and that's the Kumpo, all these fucking great players on one team. And if that don't motivate the Americans, because if you're not careful, they'll run you off the fucking floor. And we're already seeing like American, the world is caught up to America. We've talked about this before. I think last show we talked about the last 7 MVPs were European players. You know what I'm saying? The last American MVP was 2018 and James Harden. So, if you're the NBA, you don't want your American players to be embarrassed. Yes, it's a global game, but it still starts here, right? Let me ask you guys a question. L, I'll start with you first. What's your take on this whole shit?
It sounds interesting, but if it's gonna be a bunch of NBA players, like if they just take the foreign NBA players, I don't know, because you're playing with players from your own league, so that takes the kind of like the excitement out, or like if they were playing players from different countries, it's like now it's like US versus them. now it's like this big stage, right? But if you just got Shea and Luka, these guys are great players, man. Like, so if they can beat fucking LeBron and the Americans, it's not like, I don't know. It's not surprising. These are the foreigners in the league are some of the top players. Like, what is it? Shea. Who's the guy? Shea. We got
Luka,
Giannis. We got
Giannis.
Jokic.
Embiid.
A lot of them.
Siakam.
Right? A lot of them.
Murray.
Right.
OG.
Right.
Actually, now I'm thinking about it. Maybe it would be a little bit more exciting. Maybe I would watch. Put it that way. I don't know how well it would pan out, but at least I would tune in. Like I tuned in this year.
Wemby.
I tuned in. Yes, exactly. And I tuned in this year when they switched it up a little bit. But here's the thing: nobody else fucking tuned in. I was a room full of my family. No one else watched the game except me. So that shows you
because you're a diehard basketball guy. Yeah.
What the NBA is like. No one else cared about it except me. Like, and it was like 15, 20 people. Not one other person watched the game, man. So I don't know. They have to do something, man. They definitely have to do something. Like, I thought it was going to be interesting what they did this year, and that shit turned out to be just – these guys don't care anymore. That's the problem, man. There's nobody in these locker rooms that wants to win. Like, Jordan was not getting beat. I don't give a damn if it's the All-Star. You're not beating me, bro.
Yeah.
You're not beating me. And we don't have nobody in the league like that now that takes that approach, man.
I agree. Q, jump in.
The only reason I disagree is because I think like Jalen Brunson thinks that. I think Jalen Brunson has that type of mentality. Like, he does not like losing. Like Jalen Brunson does not like losing. Like, he hates. You know what I mean? Like, he hates to not only lose, but lose in bad effort. You know, like and the way that the Knicks perform, and that's what I'm saying, like that. But we need those type of men, pause, but like we need those type of players in this type of league. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like to actually go on and build this league exactly what it's supposed to be built on. I feel like doing that, you know. Oh,
hello.
Okay. Yeah, I sound all right. Somebody's from mute, but I feel like doing the
my words.
I thought I was about to get paused. I was like, oh man, like, I thought I was about to get beat down with some sticks. Word.
Wow.
But I feel like with the but with that adjustment, it's cool, but to a fault. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, oh great. Now we're gonna do USA. We're gonna have like a preliminaries Olympics match in the NBA, and now we're gonna really see like how faulted the American basketball system is. Like, that's what we're really trying to do to ourselves, right? Like, we're going to show like, oh man, like these guys over here when they played not in America, they're kind of better than us.
They actually have skills.
Oh shit, man! What the fuck we doing over here, man? Like, yo, we're shooting ourselves in the foot doing this. To be, in my opinion, like I don't think it's gonna be entertaining at all. I think
Really?
I think the international team is gonna win hands down.
Didn't they do that?
This year? The potential lineup is insane.
They went back to the East-West format.
No, the rookies. They had some shit like that with the
So
isn't it the sophomores versus the freshmen or some shit?
No, that was in 2016 or 15. 2015, the Rising Stars actually did that. They did it for 6 years too. The first 6 years of the Rising Stars game was USA versus the world.
Okay, that's what.
So just kind of to push back a little bit on Q on this topic. I think this is going to be fantastic. I think that it creates a dynamic where the USA has to have some fucking pride. They have to look at it as a direct, I don't want to say attack. You know what you can kind of liken it to? I'll give you an example. The WNBA, they actually got it right. Their Olympic team, all the girls that they picked, all the women, that they picked for the Olympic team were a group, and then their all-stars were a separate group. And then they put them against one another. So all the women that were not selected to play in the Olympics had to play against the women that were playing in the Olympics. And the women that weren't selected in the Olympics fucked these women up. I don't know if y'all watched that last year. I watched it, and it was a fantastic game. They played literally from whistle to whistle because there was something in their hearts that said, I should be on that side of the fucking court. I should be playing for the Olympics. I resent the fact that I wasn't selected. Right. So I'm going to bust these bitches' asses and make them understand why I should have been selected.
Right.
And it was very, very, very competitive. It was an amazing basketball game. So I fast forward through time and space, and I give you the USA versus the world. Mm-hmm. And what's happening is the world, I don't care what anybody says, is fucking taking over. We just had this conversation. Our best players in the NBA are from somewhere fucking else. That's the reality of it. The best players in the league, from 1 to 10, you can probably fit 7 of those motherfuckers, and they're from overseas somewhere. Yeah. That's real shit. Yeah. We can be as prideful as we want, but the reality is the fucking reality. Mm-hmm. LeBron James does not belong in that anymore. Right. He's not number 1, and I don't think he's number 10. So if you really want to put in, if you want to slip in a Brunson pause, if you want to put in a couple of our homegrown talents into that top 10, then do so. But the remainder of them are from somewhere fucking else. So now if you put those people against our best 10 to 12 basketball players, do you believe in your heart of hearts that you're not going to see something where somebody has to go here and say, bro, I'm not going to allow our league to just be taken over by a group of people that weren't even born where the game was fucking born?
I would hope. Like, that's the incentive, right?
Yeah, I would hope they would have that pride.
Yeah, but you telling me it's going to take you for the commission to do that? Like, see, like that, like that type of motivation, that's what I don't agree with, man. Because, like, if this is what the NBA players are motivated upon, like, it took all this shit. Yo, what the fuck if we got invaded by a country? You think I want the military to be like, damn, bro, they done invaded us 3 years ago. I think the 4th year is going to be the one where we fight back. No. What the fuck, man? Like, yo, I think they need to really be play your game to your best ability. And I think this really is going to shut us down, man. Like, it's going to really show and prove that the other countries who really want it, because America is basically, and I might be going off top, but America is based upon, like, what? Oh, they got it, the freedom and everything, man. Like, oh, yeah, that's the best country in the world and shit. And the other countries who fucking are really hungry and starving, who want a chance, and they go and get it, they come over here and show and prove at a professionality and a type of, you know what I mean? Like, and they become MVPs of a league, or they become CEOs of a company. Bro, like, it just shows, like, at the end of the day, it shows America's weak, it shows companies are weak, it shows, like, it just really, like, puts a really stain on my heart, because now I think the NBA needs to really, yo, this is almost a topic of, like, the NBA college and like the situation. Like, do we have the good coaching? Do we have the right facilities? Like, are these guys getting built the right way? Like, are they getting led the right way? Come on, we all saw Blue Chips. We all saw fucking He Got Game. Like, are those true stories? Like, is that what's really degrading America as professional basketball minority black men who are supposed to be living up to a potential that they can't live up to because they're giving things that they never had, but then when they get it, they just use it into abundance versus, you know what I mean? Like, versus a country who never had anything, and when they're given a grain of rice, they're fucking happy.
But that's the Marvin Hagler theory. It's hard to get up in the morning and run when you're sleeping in silk pajamas, right? Like, that's what they say and shit.
I mean, and even deeper than that, like, like if the philosophy works, it's almost like, I don't care how or why a fucking watch was built. I just care that I'm able to tell time at that point. Like, I just want to be able to watch a product that makes sense. So if it took this to get to a fucking moment where I'm watching a good product on All-Star Weekend, then I'm fine with that. Okay, maybe we needed to get slapped in the fucking face, and maybe it is the moment where it's hard for me to jump up, and, you know,
motivation.
Yeah, maybe it's hard for me to jump up and throw on a fucking,
it's embarrassing, but yeah, it's
a discus sweatsuit versus a pair of silk pajamas in order for me to run and do my road work, right? I'm okay with that as long as the result is the product where I can come on with you and Cash and L and Ra and we can have a real conversation and say that was a hell of a fucking all-star game. Did you see right?
Yeah. I think one thing that the league is missing out on, and I don't know how, is niggas is motivated by money, right? Like these players, I think the winning players we got 125. That ain't shit, man.
For the
All-Star. Yeah. How about
and
this?
Also for the tournament too, the in-season tournament, they put I think is it 500,000 they get?
Yeah, it was like 500,000 per. Right?
Nah, it was 125. Each player got 125.
You talking about for the in-season tournament?
Yeah, in-season.
No, I'm talking about for the All-Star game.
Oh, but they, the in-season tournament, they put an incentive on it so people play hard.
Yeah,
I think it's like
but it wasn't much. It was like 100, 150.
Okay,
yeah, that's not enough though. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. The league, if you want the All-Star game back,
right?
Yeah.
Put the purse up. Like 125 ain't shit. Like I wouldn't play extra hard for 100. Like, oh, what is that? Okay, they pissed that away, man. Like, how about the losers get nothing? You know what I'm saying? The losing team gets nothing. Then people might actually come and play. It's like, well,
but
damn.
Think about this, right? Think about this, and I agree with you. But think about this: when we watch these games, and I can remember being, a young guy, and I'd be at home, and my mom would go, and she'd be like, "I'm going to C-Town. What do you want?" I only used to ask her, "Give me a rotisserie chicken because I want to watch the All-Star game." She'd bring me a rotisserie chicken, and she'd make me some type of bullshit sides or whatever, and I'd watch the All-Star game in my fucking pajamas on Sundays, right?
No doubt.
That was an important moment for me. And think about the players that were playing back then. They weren't making really any fucking scratch. You had the great ones. You had Mike. You had Dominique. You had Larry, you had Magic, you had these guys that were already bigger than life stars that were making money that was unreal at the time and obscene to most of the players and their contemporaries that they were playing against. And they were playing harder than those people.
It was just different back then. That's what we all want. We want those days back, man. But I don't think they're coming back, man. Like,
so now we have
there's no more Coogee rats, man.
Right, but now we have to incentivize. But think about this, right? Now we have to incentivize people that are super rich. How? You can't. They're already super rich. There's no number that you can throw at Shea Gilchrist-Alexander, who's making whatever he's making, $30 million a year, $50 million a year. What are you throwing at that person? It has to come from here, bro.
Definitely.
Think about this. I'll give you something even crazier. I'm glad we brought this up. Two guys played a 1v1 the other night, right? For 100K.
Yeah. Zesty as 1v1.
I didn't want to talk about that shit, man. I think they're gonna play basketball.
I
didn't even know what I was gonna. I didn't even watch it because I was afraid what I was gonna watch.
The reason why I bring it up is because it was all here. All they cared about was bragging rights and pride. Now, granted, they're not in the league. I understand that, but it was about 100 racks and who's a better basketball player. They played hard. Like,
I kind of the Zesty shit was wild, but the actual playing was pretty good.
They played hard, bro.
Kyrie was the commentator. That shit was.
I just got an idea, bro.
Fire.
That shit
what
was
if the losing squad, the members of the losing squad, like get games like they can't play like the next fucking 2 games in the regular. Something like that, like the motherfuckers.
Nah, but they fucking a revenue. Adam Silver ain't having that shit.
Yeah, he doing that's a destruction.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
But
like
you gotta have
it has
some
to
type
come from the heart, man.
I think I agree with Jay. I think it doesn't matter what the motivation is, as long as you get the fucking end result. And I think that I think if I'm a dude, right, even though I make millions of dollars and maybe I don't take All-Star games serious, there's a certain pride in you. Like they get up for the Olympics. Have you not noticed that? Like
right
they
here.
right. You know what I'm saying? It's in here.
You
don't want these dudes running you off the court. Yo, the papers are gonna kill you. The radios are gonna kill. Like you're gonna look bad. So I think I think that the American players are not gonna want to get smoked by the world. There's got to be some type of pride. And I'm looking at the list like of the best players in the NBA. We mentioned some of the European players, right? We got the Joker, we got Shea, we got Giannis, we got Luka, right? Embiid, but yo, we got Steph, we got Anthony Edwards, we got Holly Berry, who I hate, but he's balling. We got Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson, Tatum when he's better. You know what I'm saying? So we got some Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant. We got some ballers. Quiet. We got some ballers. It ain't gonna be just getting washed up if they come to play. It's gonna be pretty evenly matched. You know what I'm saying?
It's not, but it feels like some type of challenge. Like it's like, yo, Adam Silver almost feels like his back is on. Pause. His back is on the corner. Like his back is to the wall. He's like, I need to do something to make this league better. I can't do it with the All-Star dunk contest because that's an invitational. That's you have to volunteer for that shit.
I would scrap. I would just scrap the dunk.
You might as well at this point, man. Like, or just
like, ain't got no heart. The last ill dunk contest I think was Dwight Howard. In my opinion.
The last ill dunk contest was Zach LaVine and
Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon.
That shit was amazing, bro.
That shit.
But there's no theatrics anymore. Him coming in and out the phone booth, like shit like that was
that Aaron.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. Yeah,
first of all, shout out to Aaron Gordon and Zach
100%.
because they
light skin mania.
Light skin on light skin crime.
Yeah,
they put on a fucking performance, bro.
Bro,
yeah,
that shit. I was stuck to my.
Bro.
I haven't stuck to my seat.
Move.
Yeah,
but it's not like that no more. There's no.
I can't miss the dunk.
But wait, let me ask y'all this, right? And we're gonna close this out in a minute and get to the last topic. Wait for Al to get back. But when is the last? Because Zach, with all due respect to Gordon and Levine, they ain't superstars. When's the last time we had when's the last time we had a superstar in the dunk contest? Can y'all name it?
Kobe.
I think Dwight Howard probably considered.
Probably Dwight Howard,
right?
I don't know that Dwight Howard to me. And again, I'm maybe.
You don't think Dwight was a superstar at his peak of his powers?
I don't think he was a superstar. I think Dwight Howard was a star. I think he was a really. He was like. I think he was like.
I think he got foreshadowed.
I think he was right at like superstar, like he was touching the fucking ceiling of superstar.
He was
status.
right there though, yeah.
But I don't think he was he wasn't a household name. He wasn't a superstar.
All right, but he was on the cusp. He definitely was on the cusp. He's probably the pause.
Fringe superstar.
But he's probably the last
known name that you
I would think I can remember at least, right? Like, so
Catch me up, guys. Who was it?
We were just talking about the last like superstar that was in the dunk contest. Like I don't even remember like superstar. It's probably
I said
Kobe or Vince, right? Maybe Vince. Who was Vince? Right, Vince is a superstar.
Well, as far as superstar, Blake wasn't super. He was
Blake Griffin.
Yeah, Blake Griffin was a superstar.
At that time, when he was,
I think he's Dwight Howard.
I think he's Dwight Howard.
Right there. Yeah, me too.
He's on the cusp.
I'm on the same page.
He's on the cusp.
Fringe superstar. I say the same thing. I agree.
Now they had moments in the All-Star in the dunk contest that was like, wow, him jumping over the car was crazy, and Dwight coming out the phone booth was crazy. That's dope when you get like, okay, maybe you don't have a superstar, but you get some theater to the shit. Like you have to have some theater. Little kids want to see crazy shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, they want to see good dunkers. You got the kids from the CBA last year or the G League. Yeah, his dunks are crazy and everything. He's exciting, but he don't have the name cachet.
Because
nobody knows him.
To be that guy. Yeah. No, it's not that nobody knows him. It's that nobody wants to be him.
Right.
Like, in order for a dunk contest to be exciting, or for you to attach yourself mentally to a player or to any profession, you have to kind of almost imagine yourself as that player. And when you're watching Mike take off from the free throw line, you're like, I want to do that shit.
Right.
When you're watching Dominique Wilkins do a two-hand fucking
yak it
window,
in game, yeah.
You like, I want to fucking do that.
Right. When you're watching Vince yak it on Alonzo Mourning on the baseline, you're like,
on the baseline, you're like,
you know what I'm saying?
Why the fuck? I want to try that. Like, those are the things that you attach yourself to, and those are the things that become instant photographs and memories of the mind. We're not seeing that. We're not seeing photographs. I can say that I saw what's his name, fucking McClung, do those dunks, but there are no photographs up here.
Right, exactly. It's not a bookend in my mind.
It's not embedded.
All right. So let me ask you guys this question. So, like, before we get to the next topic.
Yeah.
All right. Let's say we don't even have to go to the top 5. Let's say top 3. Let's say if there was an NBA slam dunk contest. Let's say all fucking 400 NBA players volunteered. Who's the top 3 that you
Right
guys
now?
want to see?
Right
Yeah,
now?
who's the top 3 that you want to see?
Right
I'm
now.
not saying Duncan. Top 3 right now that you want to see perform in the
mean?
dunk contest.
Not Duncan? What?
No.
It's
Dunk
a dunk
contest.
contest.
Yeah, dunking contest.
But you said
who's
all
the-
time or right now? You're talking about right now.
Right now, who's
Anthony
the top
Edwards,
3 players?
Zion,
I just
Anthony-
need 3 players.
And John Morant, I'd say.
And
maybe
John
I'd put-
Morant.
Yeah, I'd probably put
Done.
those 3 up there.
Who?
That's
Zion?
easy.
Who?
Zion, Anthony Edwards, and John Morant.
John Morant.
I probably agree
Yeah.
with that. Maybe
I'd pay,
That's how
I'd
you bring
pay.
the All-Star weekend back, man. I don't know what they
I'd
need to
pay
be
to watch
requiring these
That's
people to
easy.
do this shit.
That shouldn't be better than their contract. That's really easy. Like, because I agree with all 4 of us. So you're telling me all 4 of us agreed to have the same 3 names, right? Like, you telling me the rest of the consensus of the world doesn't agree the same? Like, yo, bro, like, homie, I'll give you an extra 20, like 15 minutes. Hey, yo, I need you to fucking dunk. Like, that's all I need you to do. Just go dunk.
Yeah, for an hour.
You get hurt, I'll pay your medical bills. Be like, that's it, fuck it, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, we'll figure out the stipulations with your whack ass team anyway, because they all 3 on like whack ass teams anyway.
imagine they had that. Back in the days, it was stacked. It was Tracy McGrady. It was, Vince in there. It was
They had pride,
Steve
man.
Francis in there. It was
Yo,
It's like no
man,
pride no
man.
more,
No
man.
pride
They have-
no
I don't know
more.
what's going on.
It's just
Motivation.
pride, man.
It was because you know what it was, man. Like, and I know you guys all rap.
It was an
just like-
honor.
Yeah, it was an honor.
It was like, oh, that dude.
Shout out to
could jump
Mike
higher
and
than me.
Kobe and them. Them motherfuckers was about the show. They understood the task. You feel what I'm saying? They understood the task, and yeah, crazy, man.
It was important.
Yeah, I agree. It was important, and they need to somehow figure out a way to fix this. So I'll be looking forward to this year's format. I'm not gonna lie, and I think they said last thing is that I think David Stern is kind of modeling this after what hockey does. Hockey has a similar format to this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not too much into hockey. I really don't know too much about hockey, but I think I read that. Let's
Yo, you
get
know what?
into-
Hold
yeah.
on. One thing before we
Yeah.
go to the next topic. I just thought of something, bro.
Mm-hmm.
All right, NBA.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting a prospective contract. Listen, for the next dunk contest, I'll stand right under the rim, right? Pause. I'll stand right under the
I was
rim.
gonna ring him up too. I was getting ready to ring him up. I was waiting.
I'll stand right under the rim.
I was
like
waiting.
this.
I'm
I
like,
was
where the
like
fuck is
this.
it going with this? Like,
Do not engage until he says doesn't say pause.
Yeah, don't fuck this up, man.
Now, this is-
Yo, do not engage
I
until he
repeat,
says
do not
pause.
engage until he does not say pause.
he said it. Take him down.
Yo, Cassius listens to the comms.
But yeah, I'll stand under the rim, and because it always looks better when you see someone get dunked on, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I'll be the fucking dunk on guy, like you fucking just fuck. Like, yeah.
I don't know if that makes. I don't know if that
Yo,
makes
that-
your argument a little bit better, bro.
That's not that crazy, right? How about it? Like, dunking on someone in the dunk contest. That's actually a good idea, right?
Something like that. Like you gotta dunk on someone.
Oh,
like.
that's a good fucking idea, dog.
like get defended on, like
Yeah,
the
defender.
defender?
Remember back in the days, you'd be in the park and give me lane. Remember they used to say,
word.
give me lane?
And then someone would challenge you.
Yeah, that type of shit.
I bet you motherfuckers would watch that shit.
Yo, that'd be crazy.
That's a smart
crazy.
idea.
See?
Adam Silver. Don't listen. You heard it here first. Cut the check. You know what I mean?
How can we fucking how can we put this shit? Fuck it, it's out there.
like
This
a
is our
proposal.
idea.
Yo, I'm gonna have my lawyer. I'm gonna have my lawyer write that shit up. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, go ahead,
want
man.
credit
We
for
move-
that. Nah,
I'm
that's-
sorry,
that's-
we were moving to the next topic.
Nah,
man.
but that's a
That's
gem
a
right
dope-
there. That's a
that's a-
motherfucking gem.
That's a dope ass idea, bro. Like, yo,
What do you think of that, Jay?
I don't know. Nah.
Jay just threw cold water on that motherfucker.
That's because Jay never could dunk, man.
Actually, to be honest, I'm the only one on this platform other than Cash that probably could dunk.
What, right now? You can still dunk?
Hell no, I can't dunk right now. I'm old as fuck, and I'm
no,
heavy.
L used to be able to
Nigga,
dunk.
I'm 6'3", bro. Fuck you
I used to
talking
be
about?
able
You
to-
know,
You could dunk,
you the
you
only
could
one.
You could dunk.
You the only one.
These
I'm not talking about those. I'm not talking about just being able to. I'm talking about like with flair, like with some actual.
Oh no, I gotta take myself out of that thing because I used to be able to dunk. But
I
I
was
wasn't
never a
yakking on
flair
nobody.
dunker.
Yeah,
Not-
No,
flair
I could.
dunking.
I could dunk like with
Really?
flair. Yes, but I could only dunk.
Jay, I'm gonna go out to Texas. I'm gonna dunk on your ass.
Here's
nigga.
a
Pause.
crazy caveat though. I could only dunk left-handed.
Word.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But you don't shoot left.
But
you shoot right?
You know what I'm saying? I shoot right mostly, but I could dunk.
Man, this sounds like an investigation. I need to fucking up.
Nah. I used to hoop with Jay back in the early 2000s. Yeah, definitely.
Everything was left-handed.
We used to hoop. Yeah, we used to have some battles too in the park.
Battles on the court.
We used to hoop. Yeah. All right, let's get to the football shit and we get the fuck out of here, man. That's some good ideas, man. Aaron Rodgers, man. Good old Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? He loves the attention.
Yo, Jake, come on, man. I need your smiley face on this one.
Never.
Listen.
You never.
I'm not gonna do the big spiel. I'm just gonna go right into it. Then I'll give my take after you guys. Aaron Rodgers going to the Steelers, right? He waits a long time to go to the Steelers. You know, he doesn't sign right away. He misses OTAs. He's getting ready to go into mandatory minicamp. Everyone, it was kind of like the worst kept secret. That where he was gonna go because Russell's gone, Justin Fields is gone. It only makes sense for Aaron to go there. We saw what happened with the Jets, didn't work out. I'm not gonna say it was a debacle because there were extenuating circumstances, and we'll probably get into that a little bit later on in the segment. But I'm gonna go Jay. I'm a matter of fact, Q. I'm gonna go with you first. What do you think about Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers? Do you think it moves the needle a little bit? Do you like the move? Like, what's your take on this?
This is fucking hilarious, man. Yo, what's crazy is that like you even wanted me to talk about this shit first, man. Like that's the shit that got me. Yo, man.
That's a diabolical way to start your take, though.
Yo, is there like a skip button?
Yeah. You sound like the penguin. You're like,
this is like when I sent the image, to the team's chat and shit, man, like I was like, everybody thought it was hot news. What?
I expected it.
But like, you know what I don't like about Aaron Rodgers? Like, why he thinks he's still the shit, man. Like, I think he's still living in Brett Favre's shadow. To be honest, like, what is he trying to do? Go to another team to make them better, or I'm really trying to figure out what he's trying to do with his. I think he doesn't know what to do. I don't think he knows what life is after football. To keep it a buck, man, because like, why else? Like, we all knew and kind of figured out, like, after everybody signed and drafted, made their moves, bro, homie, like, you had to go there. Like, where else you? Big news, man. Yo, he's a diva, man. He's a diva. He's bad news, and this is gonna change. This is gonna change. This is gonna reflect on the Steelers because this is not the Steeler type of image. Let's keep it a buck. The Steelers been hard-nosed quarterbacks who play to the ground. They fucking live and die there. They even help people mine and shit. They help drive the trains around and fucking, you know what I mean? In Pittsburgh, you know what I mean? Like, he's not about that, bro. Like,
yo, what quarterback really drives a train around in Pittsburgh? I must have missed some shit.
But there's a lot of trains in Pittsburgh. But like, whatever, man.
Yeah, you seen Ben Roethlisberger driving a train out there? And I'm just fucking you guys.
I'm pretty sure that motherfucker, that nigga be like a fucking conductor and shit.
Yeah, I hear you.
But I don't know.
Rudolph.
Yo, but it's really like, what is he doing? Like, I think he just wants to make news. He's like almost like a fucking media diva at this point, man. Like, he wants to be at the attention at the world. Come on, homie. Like, if the Pittsburgh Steelers didn't sign him, he would be out of the job. Because let's keep it a buck. What's crazy is that his only competitor is the one that's actually competing to be a starting quarterback on the Browns, Joe Flacco. And they're almost the same age. And what's crazy, I would rather to have a Joe Flacco than Aaron Rodgers on my team right now. Wow. I'll keep it a buck right now, bro.
Okay.
Like, I'll keep it 100%. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't want to do that because he's too much attention. He's too much media. He's too much hot press and cameras and flashing. He's too much, expectation. I don't want no expectation, bro. I want you to do what you need to do and do it. If you can't do it, then get the fuck out of it, bro. Like, and he didn't perform in the last two teams. So Like, what is he gonna do? He's gonna go to the Steelers and win them a Super Bowl? Come on, man. The Ravens gonna.
But
Yo, the Ravens
did he
is
not
gonna
perform, or did his team not perform?
Bro, he did not perform. Bro.
It's a good question. I don't know. It's a good. It's not that simple in my opinion. You got more to say, Q?
No,
you could easily make L's point. I know Jay gonna eviscerate him because he's a Jets guy and shit didn't go right over there. But you could easily make L's point. Was it him? Was it the fucking dysfunction of Woody Johnson and Olbrick and fucking Nate Hackett and Salah being fired and one of the defenses that were considered the top defense but couldn't stop the run, and Garrett Wilson dropping passes and Sauce Gardner getting smoked all the time and fucking. I mean, there's a lot of things going. The Achilles. There's a lot of different right.
So you're telling me right now he's gonna go into a division that's probably one of the best divisions?
Yeah, that's okay.
He's going to one of the best divisions, right? Mm-hmm. With the coach, that's probably one of the best coaches. I feel like can go down. I feel like
who Mike Tomlin?
I think Tomlin can be like he's in the top 3 for me, bro.
Mike Tomlin is the Tom Thibodeau of the fucking NFL. But go ahead.
But no,
I'm being honest. He plays 90s style offense. Go ahead. And I like Mike Tomlin. I'm not taking a shot at him.
I don't think he's gonna like. How do you get one old? That's like the Wizards getting Michael Jordan at the age of 38, 40 years old, whatever they got him. You know what I mean? Like, and expecting something out of him to rejuvenate the whole franchise. That's not gonna happen in football. That's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen with him. He's just looking for some guy like, yo, homie has a whole fucking documentary about him, like fucking taking ayahuasca. Yo, that's great, man. Like you did it. You had a documentary beat. You fucking. I don't want to see. Yo, if I want to see a documentary, I don't want to see you fucking taking no fucking. I want to see you fucking pause working out, nigga. Like fucking throwing passes.
Should I ring him up on it? That one was a little flagrant. You want to see him working out? Like, I don't know, man. That was a little
pause, man. Like,
yeah, but I don't. Some things supersede pause. I don't know. We're gonna have to take a vote on this one, man. All right. I'll say ring him up. Yeah, D. Ring him up. Hold on, here we go. Man. I don't want to see anybody working out, by the way. Just to have some clarity.
You know, I think Jesus Christ, it's crazy. Oh my God.
You guys.
Wow. No, that reaction was to my words.
We almost got through a whole episode, but but no, you know what? You're not alone in that take. There are a lot of people who have your same sentiments. Oh
really?
Yeah. A lot of people don't think that he's washed up, he's over the line, he's a diva, he's looking for attention. You know, we all heard the skinny on Aaron Rodgers. Jay, you're closer probably to this than we are as a Jets fan. What do you think?
I think, like you said a lot earlier with all the different things that he had to go up against when he was with the Jets. That was not a very comfortable situation for anybody. There's no quarterback that I think could have done any better than what he did based on the circumstance, and that's okay. However, Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. I'm tired of the name because I'm tired of the show. I'm tired of the spectacle. I'm tired of the off season. I got to go into, talk to darkness. I got to go talk to my people. I got family issues. It's just so much. Just either say you're going to play or not. Like the theatrics, to Q's point, they're old. They're tired. Nobody wants to hear that shit. However, as far as the Steelers are concerned, they're in the best position that they could possibly be in because they don't have anybody on their bench. They got Mason Rudolph and Skylar Diggins, I think is the other guy. They have that. Neither one of those quarterbacks are built to perform or what have you. Now, with that being said, there's only 1 year that you're going to really see. And we're going to have to do this whole same song and dance next year to see if Aaron Rodgers, because remember, he's signing a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
And they now, granted, they have weapons, right? They have DK Metcalf, they have a running back, they have an offensive line, they have everything set up. But I don't see that this team is going to go any further than maybe a playoff team, maybe. I don't know. I don't
even think they make the playoffs.
No. Again, maybe a playoff team.
How many do you think are getting in from the North? What do you think? How many teams are getting in from the North? Like no more than 3, right? All 4 is probably not getting in, right?
No, definitely not all 4.
So it's between them and Cleveland for that third spot, right? Most likely, right?
I don't know that Cleveland gets in. I think Cleveland's out of the way. I don't. You know, like
I do too, but you never know.
No, I do know. I don't see Cleveland, like they don't have an answer at quarterback. I don't know that Shador's the answer. I don't know that Flacco's the answer. I don't know that the other kid that they drafted from wherever, bubble fuck face. I don't know that he's the fucking answer. And then the third one is the second one is the kid who actually was drafted to Pittsburgh. Kenny Pickens, right? Yeah. So I don't know that any of those guys are the quarterback that's going to supplant the North and put them in position to make the playoffs. I just don't see it. So I think with that being said, I don't think that Pittsburgh or Cleveland makes a dent in anything. I think both of those teams are going to be pretty pedestrian this offseason, personally.
Yeah. So you don't think you think it moves? You don't think it moves the needle? Is what you're saying at all?
I mean, it moves the needle in terms of watchability. Like people will watch that brand of football, and maybe he has a decent year. He can still spin the rock. He still makes good decisions. I don't know how his escapability is not what it was in Green Bay, and it definitely what we saw in with the Jets. But with Tomlin, do those two football minds put together a season that's watchable football? Yes. But is anybody saying that they're going to put the fucking house on them to win a Super Bowl or to even do something special in the playoffs? I don't think so.
Yo, Jay, I want to ask you this question. And I can ask the whole panel. So do you think that Aaron Rodgers is going to make a bigger impact than, this might sound a little sour, Jay, it's now on the Giants, but you think he's going to make a bigger impact, Aaron Rodgers, with the Steelers than what Russell Wilson did on the Steelers?
Yes. I think, and the reason why is because he'll have more of a sample size. Russell Wilson didn't come in until week 7 or something like that. Russell Wilson missed a lot of games, and it was a lot of Justin Fields. I think that Aaron Rodgers will have. First of all, Aaron Rodgers has a higher skill set than Russell Wilson. He's taller. He can throw it further. He makes better decisions, football decisions. He's more accurate. But
I think at the peak of their powers, yes. I'm not so sure about it anymore.
Well, we haven't seen Aaron Rodgers in his second season after an Achilles.
Right.
We have to kind of give him that 1 year, almost as a throwaway year, where he actually played formidable.
He did.
But
he did.
Everything that you said fell apart, right? Hackett's gone. Salah's gone. You name it, it went
Devontae
wrong.
Adams coming on late. Chemistry wasn't bubbling with him. There's so many different things. Yeah.
There were a lot of different things. So I like you gave the best argument for why Aaron Rodgers should have a better year than he had last year, which wasn't a horrible year based on the
Plus coming off an Achilles, we know what the real timeline is. Like we've seen it with Kevin Durant. It's a year, and even some residual effects after the year. So yeah, I don't think we got to see him at his full powers. I agree.
So I think, and just to answer your question, Q, I think that you'll see a better version of that offense with Aaron Rodgers under center for an entire 17 games versus what you saw in 10 games from Russell Wilson.
Oh, you want to jump in? You want me to jump in?
Hey, yo, boss. That's it.
I got you.
I got him.
Shit.
Jay,
I got him.
Jay, you was waiting on it too, Jay. That's some shit right there.
Yo, Jay shirt. Jay,
since the beginning, he was trying to. I know he was waiting. He was listening to every word I said.
Yo, Jay shirt. That's it. Jay shirt. I'm not even saying Paul. I'm saying Jay shirt.
Cue it up.
Yeah.
Cue it up.
Let's go.
Cue it the fuck up.
Yeah, he was waiting on me. I never seen such a quick reaction. Let me see. Y'all ready?
Yo, he was definitely.
Here we go.
I think, Jesus Christ, it's crazy. Oh my God. Wow. No, that reaction was to my words.
Got him.
Would you like me to go, L, or would you like to go?
Nah, I mean, I say real quick, man. Like Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I wish the best for the guy, man. New city. He had the third most passing yards of any Jet season. So, like, was it that's why I asked you, was it him not performing, or was it just like a team thing? You know what I mean, like, so I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he's going to do over there. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. I think. Listen, man, there's a lot to unpack with this. We talked about some of the things he had to overcome.
Definitely.
But in terms of moving the needle, well, all right, let me just start with this. One thing I don't like the whole Brett Favre thing, and this is to Q's point, trying to emulate Brett Favre. Brett Favre was notorious for not making it towards the end of his career with the Vikings, not making the decision until kind of late in the game. Same thing like Roger Clemens and Andy Petty used to do in baseball. Like, they would wait till like the last minute, you know what I'm saying? But in football, it's a little bit different, right? Because in my opinion, yes, he's an older guy. He's a veteran. He doesn't technically have to go to OTAs, which is voluntary. But that's if he's with the Packers. Even if he's with the Jets for the third year in a row, you never been on the Steelers, right? You know what I'm saying? It's a whole new environment. How to get to work, the routes you have to take, the coaching staffs, the trainers, the facilities. There's a whole bunch of things. I would have went to OTAs. Maybe play a little catch as your receivers and work out behind 7-on-7s with the line and all that. I know there's no pads and everything, but just to develop a little bit of chemistry. Okay, having said that. Fine. He'll probably be there for mandatory, for mandatory minicamp, I would assume. Now, in terms of moving the needle, it's Mike Tomlin, right? As legendary as he is, and I love Mike Tomlin. I love after he came in after Cowher. He's held that franchise down for the last 15 years. I'm not sure if his game, if shit is passing him by, man. His game, part of his game to me, and people are going to kill me in the comments, is still 2006-esque, right? For whatever reason, the Steelers don't really like to run their offense through a QB, right? We've seen this year, time in and time out. Even though it's a passing league now. Now he's a brilliant defensive-minded coach, right? He builds his teams, and his offense is based around the run and the run and defense. That's how we grind it out, run it, and have your defense do what they're supposed to do. And that's brilliant, right? Never had a losing season. I get all of that. Great coach, right? And when you got ballers on defense like Cam Hayward, right, and T.J. Watt, and they bring in Malik Harrison from Baltimore. They add some depth to the linebacker core. They bring in Darius Slay, the cornerback from the Eagles. Him and Joey Porter. Joey Porter's a really good cornerback. You do have some pieces on there. You know what I'm saying? Brandon Echols for some depth on on the secondary. So you have some good defensive pieces. But the offensive side of the ball is what I'm looking at a little bit sideways, right? You give away Pickens, right? He goes to Dallas, right? Mm-hmm. You bring in DJ Metcalf, right? Yeah, you got one weapon on one side, but what about the other side now? You know what I'm saying? Aaron Rodgers, if he gives you half of what he gave you during your Pro Bowl days, then you're good. You know what I'm saying? They got Jalen Warren, Kenneth Gainwell, right? They got a lot of, got Najee Harris is going. I'm not sure what to expect when you look at at the Steelers. Yeah, they drafted his running back. He's supposed to be good, but then you got Joe Burrow. They've improved their team over there in Cincinnati and the Bengals, re-signing Higgins, locking up Jamar Chase. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Their defense has gotten a little bit better. Joe is probably
they still got it. They still got to figure out what they're gonna do with
offensive line.
With who?
The offensive line.
Yeah, but they got some draft pieces that are going to work out. They're waiting in the weeds. Offensively, he's the best passing quarterback, pocket passer in the league. Joe Burrow's that dude. We all know that, right?
Mm-hmm. What's going on with Nick Chubb?
Well, yeah, exactly, Nick Chubb. But listen, Cleveland, because Jay, you talked about Cleveland, right? We don't know what's going on with their QB spot, right? Obviously, Myles Garrett, he gets his bread, right? He's a beast. You know what I'm saying? Colin is a good defensive tackle. Provide pressure up the middle. When you sign what is supposedly the second best edge rusher in the draft behind who we got, Abdul Carter. Shout out to my man Abdul Carter and Mason Graham. You still have Jerry Jeudy, but not a lot of weapons on offense. Yeah, I agree with Jay. They're probably going to finish around fourth in the league with a miracle, maybe third. The team to beat in that division, we all know who that is. It's the Ravens, right? You know what I'm saying? The greatest quarterback, period, in the league. Greatest quarterback in the game, in my opinion. Yeah, you can mention Josh Allen. You can mention Joe Burrow. There's a bunch of different guys. But to me, Lamar's the best in the game, with all due respect to those guys. Patrick Mahomes, he's become a really good pocket passer. We know what he can do with the run. We saw what happened last year. He drove down the field.
Andrews.
Right, Andrews fucked that up. That wasn't on Lamar. Andrews fucked that up. If he doesn't drop that pass, they beat the Bills. Plus, Zay Flowers, I believe, didn't even play in that game, if I'm not mistaken. Rashad Bateman just signed a new deal with them. He's a red zone guy, a deep threat. Zay Flowers, he's going to get better in his third year. We said Mark Andrews. Isaiah Likely had a really great year. They run that 12 personnel like Gronk. So they have a lot of different ballers. And they also got this kid out of Colorado. I think his name is LaDante Wester. Did you hear about him?
No.
I think he's going to be a ball on the receiving end. Their O-line ranked 9th in the league last year. With three brand new starters on them, one of them being a rookie. And if you know about the O-line, you know that it's all based on chemistry and continuity, right? You know what I'm saying?
Some of it, Lamar makes that O-line look good because
absolutely, because he can break. Yeah, when the play breaks down, he can do what he got to do.
That's not by design. Some of that is just Lamar.
No, I agree.
Lamar.
But absolutely. But their O-line is going to get better. Their O-line was already pretty good. So on the offensive side of the ball, they're good. Defensive side of the ball, they're good. And they have a shitload of weapons. The secondary, right? Nate Wiggins, Marlon Humphrey, front seven is official. They got a lot of Pro Bowlers. So I say all that to say this. You're going to have to worry about, in your division, you're going to have to play 8 games against these guys, right? Going up against that stout Cleveland defense twice. 6 games. You're going to have to go against that stout Cleveland defense twice. The stout Ravens defense twice, and who am I missing? Ravens, Steelers, and Bengals. We'll see what the Bengals are going to be. They're powerful offense. So,
well, you remember they got to figure out what they're going to do with Hawkins. Is it Hawkins?
Higgins? Hawkinson?
No, on the defensive side of the ball.
Who you talking about? The Bengals?
The Bengals. They got to figure out what they're going to do because they got to sign. They got to re-sign him.
They got to 100%. But
they have to re-sign him.
No, absolutely. But my point is that's a hard division to really just insert a guy in his 40s, in his early 40s who's coming off
against those defenses.
Against those fucking defenses. Even though we'll get to see what the Bengals
is bad.
No, we'll yet to see what the Bengals are, but that offense could run up 40 points on you. We seen it time in and time out last year. You know what I'm saying?
They'll just outscore you.
I don't think. That's a long way of saying I don't think I don't think it really moves the needle at all. You know what I'm saying? And I think if anything, it makes them middle of the pack mediocre and kind of fucks their chances up maybe to get a top end QB in next year's draft. And they got to figure out that quarterback. And to top it all off, Arthur Smith is a limited OC to me. He's very uncreative. I don't like the way the offense runs under him.
I felt like he sucked in Atlanta when he was the head coach. Pause.
He did.
I don't see his creativity at all. I do not.
No, I agree. I definitely agree. So I don't know. That's my take on it. We'll see. I'm a Giants fan. It's gonna be very interesting, man. But yeah, I don't know, man. I like the show today. Good work, everybody. Everybody had a lot of gems today. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta brush up a little bit on my football because season's getting ready to start. A little Giants, Jets. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go. I already built my tickets. I want to see me.
I'm going to Pittsburgh for the first Pittsburgh game.
Oh,
are you?
All right, let's move
on. Are you?
Yeah. Let's move on. Any team that's against a New York team, of course, L's going to be there. So, let's just move on. I know.
I only want to like,
I like the coach out there, man. I like the coach out there, man.
He's going to show up on the show with fucking Pittsburgh.
Everybody take a vote to all the negative people who don't like New York teams. I vote L out.
Nah, that was a troll.
Nah, of course.
Yeah, man. Just trolling.
I'm gonna show up next show wearing an Aaron Rodgers Jets jersey. That's what I'm gonna wear next show.
I gotta get me a dart. We'll talk about Giants. We gotta bring it back home. We'll talk about Giants and Jets maybe next episode.
There's a lot of interesting things coming out. They're doing Hard Knocks. They're doing
who's doing Hard Knocks?
The Giants again.
Again, they doing Hard Knocks?
Oh,
yeah, doing Hard Knocks again.
Why? Are they doing? Because actually they did the business, like the front office shit. Are they doing shit on the field this year?
Yeah, doing it on the field. I think from what I heard.
I'd be interested because I want to see what Abdul Carter looks like. Pause.
Monster.
On the field.
Yeah. From what I heard.
Paulson Adebo, he's doing backflips again.
I also want to see the kid Cam Scatterbull.
Yeah, Scatterbull. Him and Tyrone Tracy. I want to see that.
I was telling Cash, I'm like, yo, with Tyrone Tracy and Cam Scatterbull, that's gonna be like.
I also want to see Dart.
It's gonna be like a Bradshaw and like fucking a Jacobs. Like,
I want to see what Russ got. I feel like Russ is gonna have a good year, man. He's gonna. I think he might react. Why not?
Yo,
Jameson.
No, I agree. I'm like, yo, what does he had not? He's getting like mad, and we talked about this before, Cash. Like, when does he not had a bad year. Like on the Broncos, like he had a couple of bad
the first
weeks.
year, maybe the first year with Sean Payton he did. Maybe,
but there was a little bit. That was a little.
There was a
weird.
lot going on. Yeah,
he
had to get
adjust
humbled.
that.
Motherfucker wanted his own office and no shit.
But
I
homie
think
just after that he wilded out. You know,
I heard him on 7
Like,
p.m. in Brooklyn. He sounds locked in. He sounds happy to be in New York. He wanted to be in New York. I would love for him to unlock Jalen Hyatt, right? Because we got to figure out what he is before we get rid of him. And let's bring Darius Slayton back to 700+ yards a year. And Malik Neighbors is going to do what he does. And I think you're good. If all three of those things kind of interact with each other.
And Theo Johnson.
Get Theo Johnson going. You know what I'm saying? So I would have liked them to get one more receiver.
Fumbling.
Yeah, Tyrone Tracy, stop fumbling.
He needs to stop fumbling.
We
only had like 3 fumbles, but they were critical.
That's
fumbles.
too many.
Yeah. We'll get into the whole. We'll break down the whole Giants and Jets thing soon. But
how many fucking fumbles did Derrick Henry have? 1.
Oh, I didn't even mention Derrick Henry when we were talking about the Ravens. I'm bugging and shit. Yeah. So that's
He's
crazy.
vicious.
Yo,
how many fumbles did Saquon have? 1.
Yeah.
So you gotta look at it like that.
I think.
The next topic we gotta talk about next episode is the Madden
jinx,
the Madden curse, the Madden curse, and the rushing curse. There's 2 curses.
The what?
On Saquon. There's 2 curses on Saquon.
Yeah, player of the year
and
player of the year and Madden.
Saquon too good.
Madden cover.
Ain't no curse gonna fuck him up. He's too nice.
We shall see. We gonna see.
He's too nice.
I don't wish that on Saquon because
I don't wish nothing bad because Saquon ain't do his dirty. The Giants just ain't handle business right.
Yeah, y'all buying Madden? Y'all play Madden? Y'all buying Madden?
Yeah.
Of course, man.
Yeah.
I'll take your money.
PlayStation 5?
Yeah.
Of course. I'll take your money.
I'll play you right now in last year's Madden and take the rest of your fucking lunch money.
Wait, I got 23. I don't got 24. I got 24.
Dude, you'll have no lunch this week. Like you'll fuck around.
I'll
make sure, bro. I will make sure.
Who's your team?
It doesn't matter. I will make sure that y'all.
Oh, it matters when you play me. It matters a lot.
I'll tell you the truth. I'll make sure that you get your fasting in with no problem. Because I'll take your lunch money 1,000%. You'll get your fasting in fucking with me.
Yo, listen. You ever seen Paid in Full? You ever seen Paid in Full? Fuck it. You fucking with the wrong nigga. You need to be fucking with me, nigga.
Hey, yo, Jay, how many controllers you have?
I have 2. I have 2 controllers.
You had 2? You need to buy a 3rd one because I'm gonna make you break the first 2. All right? I'm dead ass.
What about 2K? Y'all niggas got 2K? Y'all got 2K?
Let's go. I'll run that too. Let's go.
Y'all don't play 2K?
I got the 2K, but I don't got
confident in
no
2K.
PlayStation though, man. I'm an Xbox guy.
You would be.
You can play. But you can play again. You can play them. Nah, that they're interacting with each other now.
Oh, okay.
No, definitely.
Yeah, we can still get it on.
Yeah, it's called
we ain't getting off the hook that easy.
Yeah, do crossplay, bro.
We can still get it on. Wow. Yo.
Pause.
Yo, anyway, thank you for tuning in to Real Sports Talk.
I was gonna let that one slide.
Cash, you got.
Thank you for tuning in to Real Sports Talk.
I'm gonna let that shit slide. No, this is how we go end the show. You have to let that go.
Still get it on.
You didn't hear it? Oh, you didn't hear Jay. He said it doesn't matter the platform. We can still get it on.
Jay said that?
No, that was Q. That wasn't me.
That was you, B.
Cash said that.
Thank you for tuning in to Real Sports Talk. It's been a pleasure.
That wasn't me.
I think, Jesus Christ, it's crazy. Oh, my God. Wow. No, that reaction was to my words.
It's on and popular.
Yo, Jay, you almost caught a flagrant. That's like, I didn't touch it. What the fuck? That was him.
I thought it was Jay. My bad.
That was Cash. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Gentlemen,
with the 6'9"
have
shit.
a fantastic Sunday. Yo,
yes.
Have a great rest of your day, family. You know what I mean? Peace.
See y'all this week.
You know what it is.
Peace.
Love,
Real sports talk.
Real sports talk. Not fake sports talk. Peace.
Word up.